Hello once again, welcome to Mira's Crafts, and today I'm going to show you how to crochet this beautiful handbag here with wooden handles, and these are bamboo handles. Okay, if you don't have this, you can use any other type of circular handles that you have. So this is a nice bag and it is very simple to crochet with a beautiful stitch in between here. So let's see what we're going to need for us to crochet this bag. So for this bag I used polyester macrame, this one, and it's about 3 millimeters thick. And for this stitch you don't need yarn that is too thick for the stitch in between here. So this one is 3 millimeters thick, and the macrame is a bit flat. Okay, you can see it's a bit flat. It's flat macrame. You can use any other type of yarn that you have, just make sure that it is not too thick. Okay, and for this one I used a 4mm crochet hook. And for this bag I used 2 cones, and each is 200 meters, and this is what is left. You're also going to need a scissors, a tapestry needle for fastening off the ends, and you're also going to need handles. I used bamboo handles, this ones, but if you don't have this, you can even use these ones, circular handles that are wooden handles. You can also use metal or plastic handles. So this is what we're going to need, so let's begin. So here at the beginning, you want your chains to be in the multiples of 4 plus 1. Okay, so for the pattern, your chains should be in the multiples of 4 plus 1. That means if you do 8 chains, you add 1 more chain to make it 4 multiples of 4 plus 1. Okay, so for our bag, it's going to be a medium size, so I'm going to do a chain of 25. Okay, so that's in the multiples of 4 plus 1. So here at the beginning, I'm going to make a slip knot. Okay, so you may want to make this tail a bit shorter. I'm just going to cut it. Then you're going to come on the handle. Okay, so want to crochet around this tail, and then we hide it as we crochet along the handle. Okay, so I'm going to hold it like this. Okay, and then I'm going to insert my hook, grab my yarn, and then pull through like this. Okay, yarn over, and then pull through like that. Okay, so this is my first stitch. So you may want to adjust so that this yarn that is wrapping around the handle is tight. Okay, so you adjust here, you pull your crochet hook, and then you pull this yarn. Okay, again I insert, grab my yarn, pull through. Okay, yarn over. So if your stitches are not tight, you may start again until they are tight enough that there is less movement. Okay, here. Okay, so now we have 2. Okay, so this is 1, and then this is 2 again. So you notice that I'm hiding this tail as we are crocheting. Okay, grab your yarn and then pull through. Okay, so now we have 3 again. Okay, so now we have 4. Okay, so this is the first one. Okay, don't mind this knot here that is sticking out. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm going to continue up until I have 25 stitches here, and then come back. Welcome back. So I now have 25 stitches from here to here. So here at the end, I'm going to chain 1, and this is a turning chain and does not count as a stitch. And then I'm going to turn. So we're going to begin our first row. At the top here, we have 2 loops, the front and the back. The front and the back. So we're going to be inserting our hook in the back loop only, and we're going to crochet single crochet in US stems. So this one, this turning chain that we just did, does not count as a stitch, so we skip it. So in the first stitch, this one, I'm going to insert my hook in the back loop, pick up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, and then pull through. So that's my first single crochet in the back loop only. And then the next one in the back loop, pick up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, and then pull through. And the next in the back loop, pick up a loop, and then pull through. So I now have 3 single crochets. Okay, so I'm going to continue up until I'm in the last stitch here. So now we have our first single crochet row, and now I want to move on to the next one, and we're now going to change the pattern. So here at the end, I'm going to chain 3. So that's 1, 2, and then 3. Okay, and then you turn. So this chain 3 here is going to act as my first double crochet, and this is in US terms. In UK terms, it's treble crochet. So here we have the chain 1, 2, 3. So at the base of this chain, okay, you can count if you want. So that's 1, 2, 3. This stitch, the first stitch here, this one, I'm going to do 2 double crochets. So I yarn over in the back loop. So I insert my hook in the back loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. Okay, so this is going to be my second double crochet. I do another one in the back loop, pull through, yarn over, and then pull through. Okay, so you may want to turn your stitches so that you see these top loops there. So next, I'm going to skip a stitch, and then in the next stitch, I'm going to insert below both loops. Okay, I skip the stitch, and then in this one, I insert my hook here, and then I work a single crochet like this. Okay, and then again I skip a stitch, and then in this one I'm going to work 5 double crochets. So skip a stitch, and then in the following 5 double crochets. So that's 1 double crochet in the same stitch in the back loop, 2, again 3, 4, and then 5. Sorry, 5 double crochets in the same stitch like this. Okay, next I skip a stitch, this one, and then in the next one below the top 2 loops I make a single crochet like that. Again I skip a stitch, this one, and then in this one in the back loop I put 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the last one, 5. Again I skip a stitch, this one, skip the stitch, and then in this one you insert your hook below both loops, and then you work, okay, and then you work a single crochet like this. So we only do 3 double crochets at the beginning, and then at the end in the middle here we put 5 double crochets. So I'm going to repeat the sequence. Next here I'm going to skip a stitch, put 5 double crochets in the back loop, skip a stitch, put single crochet below both loops, skip a stitch, 5 double crochets up until we're towards the end here. So here I'm towards the end, and I'm left with 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and in this one I just did a single crochet. So I'm going to skip the this one, and then in this last stitch you're going to put 3 double crochets in the back loop. Okay, 3 double crochets just like we did at the beginning. So that's 1, again 2, and then 3. Okay, so our row is complete. So moving on to the next one. This time we'll begin our next row with a single crochet. So I'm going to chain 1. So when you begin your row with a single crochet, you chain 1. When you begin with your row with a double crochet, you chain 3. So I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to 10. Okay, so I skip this chain 1 that I just did, and then in this stitch, the immediate stitch here, I'm going to insert below the 2 loops at the top of the stitch, and then I'm going to work a single crochet like this. And then next, now we're skipping 2 stitches. So I'm going to skip the next 2 stitches. That's 1, 2, and then this one, you'll find that this is the single crochet from the previous row. So I'm going to skip 1, 2, and then in this one, in the back loop, I'm going to put 5 double crochets in the back loop. So that's 1, again 2, again 3, 4, and then in the back loop 5, like this. Again, I skip 2 stitches from here onwards up until we finish this side part. You're going to be skipping 2 stitches. So again, I skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then in this one I'm going to insert below both loops. Okay, and then work a single crochet like this. Then again, I skip 2 stitches. So you may want to chain your stitches so that they face you, and then you see properly where you're inserting your hook. So 1, 2, okay, that's 1 stitch, 1, 2, and then in this one I'm going to put 5 double crochets in the back loop. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So make sure that the double crochets, you are crocheting them in the back loop, and then the single crochet is below both loops, so that we create this curve, these curves that we have here. Okay. And the next, I have 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then in this one, okay, we skip 1, 2, and then in this one below both loops we put a single crochet like this. So let's repeat. Skip 2 stitches, put 5 double crochets in the back loop. Okay, 1, 2 in this one, 5 double crochets in the back loop, skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, single crochet below both loops. Let's do that up until we're towards the end here. We'll come back some towards the end here, and here I just did 5 double crochets, these ones. So here I skipped 2 stitches. Okay, you may want to adjust. Remember, this is the chain 3 from the previous row that we began with. So here you can see the stitches properly. We skip 1, 2, and then in this one we want to insert a hook below these 2 loops. So here find that we have this back bump, so I'm going to insert in between the back bump like this. Okay. And then crochet a single crochet. So if you begin your round with a single crochet, you finish it off, the last stitch will be a single crochet. Okay, so now that we've finished this one, we move on to the next one. And this one we started with a single crochet, so that means the next one we alternate, we start with a chain of 3. So you alternate a single crochet and a chain of 3. So this one, that's 1, 2, and then 3. And this is my first double crochet. So here in the best stitch, okay, if you want you can count 1, 2, 3, and then this stitch here we're going to put 2 double crochets. That's 1, and then 2, sorry, and then we skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then in this one we put a single crochet below both loops. We skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then in this one we put 5 double crochets. Two, 3, 4, and then 5. We skip 2 stitches again, that's 1, 2, and then in this one we put a single crochet. We skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then in this one in the back loop we'll put 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the last one, sorry, 5. Okay, so I'm going to repeat the sequence up until we're towards the end of the row. So here I'm towards the end. So I just did 5 double crochets in the back loop. So I'm going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, okay, 1, 2, and then in this one below both loops I put 1 single crochet, and then here I skip 2 stitches again, 1, 2, and then in this last one I'm going to put 3 double crochets. So when you begin with double crochets, we begin with a chain 3 and then 2 double crochets, just like we did here, to make them 3, and then at the end here you finish off with 3 double crochets. 2, and then 3. So we now have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. Okay, so moving on to the next row, I chain 1. Since this one we begin with the chain 3, the next one we begin with a single crochet, and then I turn. So I skip this turning chain, does not count as a stitch, and then below both loops I put 1 single crochet, and then I skip 2 stitches, and then in this one in the back loop I put 5 double crochets. So for this row we're going to repeat the 3rd row. 3, and then 4, and then 5. And then you skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, this one, you put a single crochet below both loops. Okay, so we're going to be repeating row 3 and row 4 up until we have 15 rows Okay, that includes this one, the single crochet that we did in the back loop, up until we have 15 rows, and then come back. So you'll be alternating, starting with a chain 3, and the other row you start with a single crochet. So let's do that and then come back. Welcome back. So this is my side panel, and I now have 15 rows. So I started counting from the row that we did single crochet. Okay, so you can count like this. So it's 1, the single crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and the last one, 15. So here at the end, I'm going to cut, then pull here. So now we want to crochet single crochet from the beginning here, right round up until we're back here. So at this point, you want to choose the right side and the wrong side of your bag. So either side can do. So I'm just going to choose this side, okay, with this ridge here. Okay, so we have this one. So this is going to be the inside of the bag, and this is going to be the right side. So I'm going to come here, okay, take your yarn. So I'm going to make a slip knot here around my hand, sit here, and then pull through, okay, like this. So I'm going to pull out, and then here at the edge here, okay, I'm going to come, you just find somewhere to insert your hook. So at this point, I'm going to come in this hole, okay, this one. Then I'm going to grab the loop that I just did, and then pull it through like this, and then chain 1 like this. So I'm also going to be hiding this tail as I crochet. So I'm going to be crocheting along the edges here. So you find that we don't have defined stitches along the edges, so that means we're just going to be finding anywhere where we can insert our hook and then work a single crochet. Okay, so next I'm going to come, we have a space here, okay, so whichever space that you find, just put a single crochet in there. Okay, so here I'm going to come in this space, grab my yarn, then work 1 single crochet, and then again here we have a space here along the edges, then work 1 single crochet. So just make sure that you're not leaving big gaps between the single crochets that you're making, and also make sure that it's not too tight. Okay, so next I'm going to come into this space, then work 1 single crochet, okay, like this. Next we have the space, I'm going to insert here. So I'm hiding this tail as I'm crocheting, okay, like this. And then next in this one, okay, so you can see this is our single crochet. So it doesn't matter that it is not straight, it's still fine, okay, because our edges are not straight. So next I find again where I can insert my hook here, here, okay, so I'm just going to continue up until I'm at this corner here. So now we're at this corner, so I'm going to put 2 single crochets in this corner, okay, 1 and then 2. So now you find that this side we have stitches, okay, so we can actually insert our hook below those 2 loops. Okay, so here I'm just going to insert my hook below the 2 loops and then work 1 single crochet. So this is what we're going to be doing for this side. Okay, just insert your hook below the 2 loops and then work 1 single crochet, and then here 1 single crochet. I'm going to continue. Let's meet in this corner here. Okay, so now we're now at the other corner here. Okay, so at the corner again, I'm going to do 2 single crochets just like we did the other side here. And I'm also going to be hiding this tail as I crochet along the edge. So here, it's 1, and then 2. Okay, again, just find somewhere to insert your hook along the edges and work 1 single crochet. Okay, so here, I have a space, insert my hook. Here another space, insert my hook. Okay, so again I'm going to continue up until I'm back here. Okay, so now I have done single crochet along the edges, so I'm going to go on and repeat from the start up until to this point and do another side exactly like this one, and then come back. We'll come back. So I now have these 2 pieces that are exactly the same. So what you might want to do is you need to count your stitches, okay, along the edges here. So I've counted mine on this one, and I found that on this one I have 81, and it might differ from yours because of the size or the number of rows that you put, and also depending on the type of yarn that you're using. So I have 81 stitches along the edges here. So I also counted on this one, and I found that I have 80. So the number of stitches may differ since we don't have definite stitches when we crochet the single crochet along the edges, but it's still fine. So what you just need to do is that since we have 80 on this one, try to squeeze 1 more stitch at the end here so that they are 81 just like on this one. So on this one I'm just going to put another stitch in the same stitch in the same space and make 1 single crochet like this. Okay, so now I'm going to pull here, and then we're going to cut. So we're just going to cut on one side, but on the other one I'm going to leave the yarn. We want to use this one to join the 2 pieces. So this one I'm going to fasten and hide this tail along the edges here. So next we want to join these 2 like this. So make sure that the wrong sides are facing each other, and then the right sides, the one that we said is going to be the right side, are facing outwards like this. So just put them together like this. So next you take your crochet hook, and then I'm going to chain 20. So depending on the size of your bag, if your bag is bigger, you can increase the number of chains on this chain that I'm doing right now. So I'm going to do 20 chains. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So now that I have 20 chains, I'm going to come on this other side, or the other piece of the bag, and make sure that this is the wrong side and this is the right side. So I'm going to come along the edges in the first stitch. Then I'm going to insert my hook below 2 loops of the stitch like this. And then the yarn, I'm going to grab my yarn. Make sure that your chain is not twisted before you join. So we're going to make a slip stitch here. So grab your yarn, pull through, and then pull through the loop on the hook like this. Again, I'm going to chain 1. So you find that we have added the chain 1 and then the slip stitch, this one, and these two do not count as stitches, the chain 1 and then the slip stitch. So next I'm going to turn. So I want to join these 2 pieces from this point going right round up until we're here. So I'm going to turn. Like this. So now that we have turned, remember we said that the chain 1 and the slip stitch do not count as stitches, so we're going to skip them, and then we're going to start crocheting in this one. Okay, you skip this as well as this one, and then in here. So the first 4 stitches, first 4 chains, we're going to put slip stitches. So here 1, 2, and then in this one I'm going to make a slip stitch, pull through, and then pull through. That's 1. In the next chain, we said pull through, and then pull through again, 2 slip stitch, 3 slip stitch, and then 4 slip stitch. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 slip stitches. Okay, they may not show at the beginning, but later on you start to see them nicely. So in the next 12 stitches, I'm going to put single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then this one 12. So we put 4 slip stitches at the beginning and then 12 single crochets. So the last 4 stitches are going to be slip stitch. So in this one you make a slip stitch, pull through, and then pull through 1, 2, 3 slip stitch, and then in the last one 4, like this. So next you move to the next stitch on this side. So here we begin in this one, so I'm going to move into this one, the following stitch, and then grab my yarn and join with a slip stitch, and then you chain 1, and then we turn. Again, when you begin the next row, you make sure that you skip the chain 1 and then the slip stitch that you use to join this chain to this side. So the first 4 stitches are going to be slip stitch, and we'll be inserting our hook in the back loop only. So you find that at the top of the stitches we have 2 loops, the front and the back, the front and the back. So you're going to come in the back. Remember, we're skipping 1, 2, and then in the back loop the first 4 stitches are going to be slip stitch, So that's 1 slip stitch, 2 slip stitch, 3, and then 4. Because we want the side panel that's joining these two sides to be ribbed, we're going to be inserting our hook in the back loop. So again, the next 12 stitches are going to be single crochet in the back loop only. So again, in the back loop, the front, the back, you crochet single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 12. Next, the last 4 stitches are going to be slip stitches. So in the back loop, I insert my hook and then pull through 1 slip stitch. In the back loop, 2 slip stitch, 3, and then in the last one, 4. So you find that the total number of stitches that we have here is 20. 4 slip stitches at the start, single crochets, 12 single crochets, and then 4 slip stitches at the end. So here, when we join, we'll move into the next stitch. So we were crocheting in this one, so we move to the next one. So you insert your hook, grab your yarn, pull through, and then pull through the loop on the hook to join. So it might seem a bit confusing at the beginning, but you may pause and rewind until you get how we're joining this chains to the back. So next you chain 1, and then we turn again. Okay. And then when you turn, so here that we've turned, you skip the chain 1 and the slip stitch that we used to join this side panel to this one. So that's 1, 2, and then in this one we put slip stitch. So that's 1 slip stitch, 2, 3, and then 4. In the next 12 stitches we put single crochet in the back loop. That's 1, 2, 3. Now that we have 12 single crochets, the last 4 stitches we're going to put slip stitch. That's 1, 2, 3, and then the last one, 4. Okay, and then we join. So whenever you join, you move to the following stitch. Okay, we were working in this stitch, so the following stitch is this one. So I insert my hook. Make sure that here you want to pull and then make a slip stitch here, and then chain 1. So these are the rows that we have joined so far. So we're going to continue. When you turn, make sure to skip the chain 1 and the slip stitch that you used to join this middle panel to the side, and then you crochet 4 slip stitches at the beginning, 12 single crochets in the back loop, 4 slip stitches at the end, and then you join in the following stitch here, so that you move to the next stitch up until we're back here on the other side. Welcome back. So this is our bag and I'm almost finished. And here it might appear like as if it's more like a ruffle, but it's still fine. Okay, this is the other side. Okay, so here let's finish up. So you might be faced with a scenario whereby here you might be left with one stitch on the side, and then maybe on the side you're left with 2 stitches. So what you do is if this side is the one that has 2 stitches and here we are left with 1, you just repeat inserting your hook in the previous stitch that you worked in, this one, so that you remain with another stitch, and then you continue. You don't have to rip out your work. You just insert your hook in the previous stitch so that you have the same number of stitches left on both sides. Okay, so here I'm just going to finish up and then come back. So here at the end, I'm just going to, I did chain 1, and then I'm going to cut, just leave a tail. Then I'm going to use a tapestry needle to fasten off. Okay, so here you can use fabric glue or a lighter just to keep the end in place. Okay, so this is our bag. Welcome back. So this is our bag and it is done. And here you might want to use a fabric glue to hold the stitches in place so that they don't move. Also, you can line the bag with lining and put a zipper or a button. So this is our bag and it is done. Thank you for watching Miriam's Crafts. Please do subscribe, like and comment for more videos. Thank you.